Daddy, do you like my hair? It grew longer.
If you're hearing our voices, that means it's time for It's This Meets That, the podcast where we watch the worst movies from trailer to end credits, scene by scene. So you don't have to, but maybe you should. I'm Russ.
Jared.
And we're back. Part 2 of Self/Less Ryan Reynolds, Ben Kingsley, Geezer Teaser movie.
I like how in the last episode, this is going to be great because in the last episode, we said Geezer Teaser. We said we can't take credit for Geezer Teaser. Then we didn't explain what it meant and we kept saying it. And now in this one, we're saying it again.
Yeah.
And I like that we're not going to give any more context.
Yeah, no. I mean, the only thing we're going to say is that we didn't coin this phrase, but we love it. So we're going to adopt it and make it seem like we did coin it.
Yep. And we're not going to explain it.
So here we are. Yeah. Selfless part 2. Where did we leave off?
We left off. We're like, why would I want to go to Hawaii? When I could go to St. Louis.
St. Louis, Missouri, which...
Yeah. No offense to our Missouri listeners, but
I mean, have you been to St. Louis, Missouri?
No, but I say Missouri respectfully. Yeah, you've been there, right?
I have, yeah.
I feel like I know you famously as a lover of Missouri. In your the many identities of Russ. Russ has been an Eddie Kidner at some point, has been a Mark at other points in his life. Sometimes D, depends on where he goes. But I see him as a Pacific Northwest guy. I see him as a Colorado guy. Yeah. I see him as a Missouri guy. I see him as a Connecticut guy. He's all over.
Yeah,
he's all over.
Yeah, St. Louis, Missouri. I've been there, and I will say I had a great time when I was there.
And that's how I know you. Good time, Russ.
but you're not the greatest of places, to be honest. But if you know how to have fun, you can have fun anywhere. So did I do that right? That's insulting to someone, isn't it?
Yep. Nope. You got it. Nope.
I think I just insulted an entire city of people.
So that's where we're headed.
Shit.
On tour. It's the It's This Meets That tour.
So we've landed and we are on the hunt for the old pumpkin water tower.
Which I love, very realistic here. Renting a car and it just yells at you constantly.
GPS, yeah. 100 feet, 1,000 feet, 100 feet, 500 feet. You're an idiot. Did you see it? You drove back too far.
It feels good.
So he finds the pumpkin water tower. This was part of his visions. I wouldn't call them visions, hallucinations.
Memories. Let's call them memories because that's what they actually are.
Well, for Damian, they're hallucinations, right?
True.
Glitches. We're going to stick with glitches. So
right, we have to keep this marketable so we can do it.
So from his glitches, he saw this pumpkin water tower. He's tracked it down. Here he is in Missouri and he finds it and then he just finds the closest house that's nearby.
Yeah. It's like, oh, well, here's a farmhouse. This must be it.
But so he gets his farmhouse, whatever. Nice place. I'd live there.
Sure.
Nice big yard. Got a little one horse in the stable there. Just horsing around, knocking on the door. No one's answering.
So he opens it and walks inside.
So he goes to the back door. He's like, knocks again. No one answers. And then he's like, fuck it. I'm going to open the door and walk in.
Like a normal person.
Yeah, because that's called breaking and entering. I guess it's just entering. He didn't break anything.
Still frowned upon. But at least he says hello. He's, hello.
Oh, hello, yeah. Because no one's responded. That means I can continue to walk into the home and snoop around creepily.
Ask for forgiveness, not permission.
So yeah, he's going to barge into this home of family that's probably already resolved their problems with.
It didn't seem like it because there's a bunch of medical bills with Madeline Biltwell's name on them. So they got plenty of problems.
But did he pick up a piece of thing that said medical bill on it or past due?
Yeah. It didn't say past due, but it said medical bill, Madeline Biltwell, whatever.
So he's creeping around a house. He's kind of looking for clues. He's looking at photos, creeping further. He gets further in, and then we get the slam dunk moment. He comes into a room that's got a photo of his face, who is this Mark guy who we're about to introduce, I guess.
Yep.
With the woman and the girl from his glitches.
And
Yeah.
Meanwhile, a red truck arrives outside. So he's like staring at this picture. He's like, oh shit, what's going on? Who's this Madeline Biltwell person? Truck shows up and then he finds like his whole family history of pictures. They're like, oh, here's a picture of you in the army, like with a bunch of
Yep. His military unit, stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, cool. He's got guns and stuff, and pictures of them with more family pictures. Him with the daughter.
It's an influx of information of someone who's just discovering that the body that he is in existed before him.
Had a family.
It wasn't a lab tube baby. Albright's been lying.
It's all been a lie.
It's always a lie.
Obviously. Grow up, Damian.
It's not what it seems.
Come on. So the girl, anyway, woman gets out of the truck, sneaks into the house because there's an intruder, which is Damian.
Yeah. She sneaks into her own home with a gun.
Right. Pulls a gun on him. And it's like, oh, if you're looking for insurance money, you're not going to find any. Get out of here. She thinks he's a burglar or something, which is weird. And then she sobs and falls on the floor and does a big thing about how is this possible?
He turns around. Yeah, he turns around and faces her, and she's like, "What? How is it?"
Well, because she hears his voice, and she's like, "What? You don't sound like Ben Kingsley at all."
With your Jewish New Yorker accent.
Yeah, with a hint of British inflection. You sound exactly like Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, yeah, he does.
Yeah. It sounds like you're not acting at all compared to what Ben Kingsley's doing.
At first, she falls around and is like, "Oh shit, Ryan Reynolds is in my home," and I'm like, "Oh wait, no, that's my ex-dead husband."
Yep, that's right.
Right,
that's right. All of a sudden, there's a knock at the door.
Yeah,
for Mr. Kidner, which Eddie, Damian, Mark is not having it. He's like, "Wait a second. They followed me.
Did anyone follow you? He's yelling at her. He's like, "Did anyone follow you?" She's like, "I don't know what's going on." She's clearly in shock of seeing what should be her dead husband standing in front of her. So yeah, man, have a little fucking patience with her, you know?
Yeah, he's an asshole.
So we got dudes at the door. Classic dudes at the door, right?
Mm-hmm. And they
rapping at the door, and he gets up there. He's got the gun. He opens the door, and he's like, puts a gun in the guy's face, and the guy's like, "Whoa, easy, bro." Pal, bro, guy.
I'm here to help.
And action.
Ambush. Yeah.
Guy at the door takes the gun from Damian, pins him against the table. Another dude was in the back. He grabs
Maddie. Yeah,
Maddie, the wife there. Does the old cloth to the face move. Suffocates her. Just kidding. Chloroforms her.
Yep.
Pulls her to back bedroom, puts her down. We get a shot of that just so, like, okay, so she's safe there, but not really.
Right.
And then
the first big reveal.
Bum, bum, bum.
Anton was in on it the whole time.
Motherfucker.
Son of a gun.
Street ball assist leader of the year.
/ other rich guy with a sweet car.
With a sweet necklace.
/ pretending to be my best friend.
No longer BFF. So then this is where we get big exposition point. This is like a big turning, right? We got a lot of information dump here because now it's like, what? How is this all going to work out here? So Anton obviously works for Albright, and he lays it all out there, right? He's like, "Hey man, this isn't grave robbing. What we're doing is we're just taking people who are,
on hard times, maybe.
On hard times, and we're taking their bodies before they die, and we're giving them a ton of cash money to solve their family problems." And then I mean, it still seems pretty legit. Like
it's like he needed medicine for his daughter to live. Don't you want his daughter to live? No,
like
look at him now.
I mean, this whole explanation was like, they don't seem like bad guys right now. I don't know. Like
I know, like it sound. I mean, it's pretty horrible, but it's like, it was consensual. It's like,
right.
That's the way. It's horrible. The fact that the system has come to this.
The system is always horrible, but
I know. Yeah. Like this is a viable option for him paying off the medical debts for his daughter is to sell his own body to kill himself.
But he was going to die anyways, wasn't he?
Pretty bleak. No, not at all. Yeah.
Okay.
Nope.
Well, yeah, but
he's like the peak health of existence for him.
Yeah. Well, details, but yeah, still big pharma.
Right. Big pharma always wins. Right.
So then this is a kind of a weird, hard transition for me, though. So this is when Damian starts caring now.
Right. Well, and this is when they explain that whole bit where he's like, well, I could have cut that guy a check. And he's like, but would you have? Like, we're doing this for reasons.
Right.
Like you're doing this because you want to not die. Right. And he's like, well,
aren't you a smart guy here? Don't you?
Right.
Aren't you like a really like?
Right. He's like, come on. Come on.
And this is definitely the obvious point of the connection of failed father moments too.
Right.
I think where obviously Damon is now seeing this family who doesn't, not having the father there.
Mm-hmm. It reiterates how casual, Anton is about this. Like, the body's got a few miles on it.
He does have a good analogy though, which sums it up pretty nice about it being like, hey, you bought you went to buy a new car, but you didn't know there was a few miles on it.
And then he kind of wraps that up with, there's a car outside. I suggest you get in it. And then explicitly says that they're just going to kill the daughter, but the organs won't go to waste. Don't worry.
We'll make it look like an accident. And then he says, but yeah. I was like, all right, dude, that's kind of, why would you say that? Just be like, don't worry about it. It's okay. Just get in the car and get out of here. Why would you say that extra thing, Anton?
Yeah, it's fucked up. So obviously his pills alarm goes off. Then they outside. He's like, goes to the bathroom. He's like, oh, can I go to the bathroom and take some pills? They're like, yeah, I guess so. You sick fuck. And then he goes to the bathroom.
Well, Anton's like, hey, see, henchman number 1, go follow him, right?
Right.
It's clearly the old, I'm going to go to the bathroom and just leap out the window move, whatever.
So he notices out the window the truck is getting torched because they're already doing the.
There's some guy with a flamethrower, which, by the way,
awesome.
This was a hidden setup payoff later.
No, it's not. It's not hidden at all because the half of the scene is flamethrower based.
No. But the end of the movie.
Yes. Yeah.
But that is such a ridiculous thing to call back to and be like, oh, remember that flamethrower from that can't be connected. Like flamethrowers are their thing. Like they're big into flamethrowers. Like what? Yes. And it just happens to be in the lab.
Infuriating. Yeah, I know.
This is where it's just like over the top.
But it's not a foreshadowed. God damn it.
No. This is not a foreshadowing. It's
infuriating.
It's not a foreshadow, but it's just like a callback to like having like there's a flamethrower, and then the very end of the movie ends with a flamethrower. Like what? It's like there is zero connection between those two things. That shouldn't be. That shouldn't be there.
The Hollywood movie there.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Yeah. You're like, oh yeah, like they did a flamethrower bit, and now they're going to keep doing the flamethrower bit. I like that.
But that was funny though. Like
that was funny. Right. Well, this was funny too.
Yeah. Well,
to be fair, the flamethrower scenes are the best scenes in the movie.
Okay. So he's in the bathroom. He's taking his pills. Henchman number 1's in there hanging out with him. And he's like, all right, man, we're enough of this. Like, stop. Stop. Right. So he's like fake puking, whatever. And then all of a sudden, nowhere, henchman number 1's like,
I thought he was real puking.
He's like, all right, dude, goes to grab by the shoulder. And then boom, kapow. All of a sudden, Damian is Captain America.
Yeah. And those military instincts really kicked in right quick.
I'm glad they did then. So he just fucks this guy up, kicks his head through a toilet.
Yeah, which you hate to see it.
Would be the worst way to go. Can you imagine that? Ugh.
Yeah, you know how hard toilets are?
Yeah, all that porcelain.
My brain was like all over that.
Oh, boy. Splatter bowl.
So then Anton and the other guy investigate because they're like, it sounds like there's shenanigans happening. Clearly now there's about to be a fight. Other guy, security guy number 2 there, has a shotgun trained in the bathroom.
Spread it on.
Eddie just shoots through the door. I'm calling him Eddie now, Damian. Yeah. I like to go through his names. Just shoots right through the door. Guy number 2 right in the shoulder. Boom. Which is ruthless. And he wants to retaliate. Anton reminds him that Albright has insisted that they bring him in alive because it's important to the experiment.
Which isn't totally explained, but kind of is later. It's kind of annoying. Like they don't really need.
Yeah, they're just like, well, if we know what happens, then we can do it better.
Yeah, and then there's also the, Mark had a certain set of skills. Basically, fucking Liam Neeson here has a certain set of skills which are perfect for Anton. It's just like, come on. And then, so we have the gunfight, and then in between us, obviously, Damian's like looking at himself. He's like, how the hell did I just do that and fucking beat the shit out of this guy, right? So. Oh, we're gonna have to explain that later. And then Anton's like, hey, I'm coming in, puts his gun down, opens the bathroom door, he's walking in, hands up.
Yeah, we got a breach on our hands.
And then fuck it. Fight time. And then we get a little
explosion outside, rocks the bathroom, distracts everybody.
And it's fight time.
That's when the fight breaks out. Yeah.
And we get a fight time, and then it was kind of Benny Hill-ish fight.
Yes. Like smash everything in the kitchen, everything in the house in general.
Slide him across the tables. Most of the fight was Ryan Reynolds' legs around Anton, like kind of in a lock, and he slid him across the kitchen counter into the refrigerator. But the thing with Ryan Reynolds with these action sequences is like his face, his reactions come off as more comedic than, you know what I mean? He comes as more cartoonish than that, like actually like.
I agree with that.
You know what I mean? So it felt like kind comical. And there was a moment where he dropped on the ground and like Anton turned and grabbed the gun and turned to go shoot him. And he ran to the other room and then just popped in the other room and just tackled Anton through the door.
Yeah, the best.
Yeah, we need some Benny Hill music here. So then Flame Guy is outside, right?
Anton just gives the command, light him up. Flamethrower the whole house.
They scramble for a bit, and Damian gets back inside, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Anton's just like, fuck it,
kill him.
Torch the place.
Who cares? Yeah.
Damian goes in, grabs a woman, wakes her up, and then they flee through like a secret panel in the or like a panel in the kitchen and drop down to like underneath the house.
Meanwhile, like they're like shooting into the house wildly, right? So they're like in the kitchen. Somehow they haven't managed to get shot yet. Flamethrower guy's like burning everything in sight, and that's when Eddie / Damian / Mark discovers this vent in the floor. Whoa, I bet we can fit there. And it just leads to directly underneath the house.
Damian's still got the gun.
And this scene is hilarious. So he shoots Flamethrower guy in the leg, which makes Flamethrower guy like spin out and go like, whoa! And then he flamethrowers Anton, and Anton is frying. Meanwhile, the other guy who's like shooting wildly into the house before, like turns and sees him flamethrowering Anton, and then shoots that guy. And so like everyone's shooting everybody else, and like everybody's dying, and it's pretty funny. And Ryan Reynolds is just under the house, like,
gotcha.
It's awesome.
And then we run down to the car, the SUV that Damian drove up by the water tower there. And then we get like a
slightly important, but Anton finds a giant bucket of water that like the cows are drinking out of to fall into.
Yes.
To put himself out. So he survives narrowly.
And then we're having a moment of Madeline and Damian / Mark, like what the hell's going on moment, right?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Shit's going crazy. You have to come with me or else you're going to die kind of moment. And she's freaking out.
Madeline. And she's like, wait,
what happened to Maddie? And she's clearly freaking out, which is completely reasonable. And then she's like, wait, Anna's at school.
This is when she starts calling him Mark. And he's pretending to be Mark at this point.
Yep.
He's like, yeah, I made a deal for Anna. I had to save her. I had to go. She's like, you're a bastard. I thought you were dead. But then they kind of make up because he's still pretending to be Mark, and they got to go pick up Anna. And then the fire department shows up. The fire department gets a lot of work in this movie.
Yeah, they do. They show up.
Shout out to the firemen.
They do show up at all the right moments.
So now we're at school, right?
Yeah. So we pull up to school because we're picking up Anna. Madeline's kind of giving a rundown to Anna, like, hey, you're about to see, Dad, I guess, or whatever.
Yeah. Remember how your dad died? Well,
joke's on you, fucker.
Idiot.
Idiot.
Kids are fucking stupid.
What are they teaching here? Dad's not dead. He's alive because science and magnets.
Yeah. You stop believing. I bet you stop believing. It's your fault he's been gone.
Yeah, it's the whole time. And then we got Damian / Mark / Eddie in the car, like,
conveniently watching videos of her childhood.
Really laying into the, you weren't a good dad, and you're having this reflective moment of, oh, man, I
wish Daddy would teach me how to swim.
Don't worry, he will later, because
that's a foreshadowed.
A foreshadowed. Fucking movie. But hey, you know what? It's out there. So,
did you make a profitable millions of dollars movie, Russ?
No, I did not. You're right. You are correct. Not many people can say that.
Our art is just crapping on other people's art. So
right. It's the cheapest form of art.
That's exactly right. And don't you forget it. You too, listeners.
Yes. Yeah. Don't you
We appreciate you.
Yeah.
But you appreciate this.
So we get family reunion, awkward family reunion. And we get a sense of Damian realizing, like, having those moments of like, I think I fucked up my own family life.
Yeah.
Maybe I could steal this family life and just have this family and redo.
Yeah.
And feel better about my rich self, which by the way is still rich.
If only I had 9 lives and was Kevin Spacey, I could realize that family is the only thing that's important.
All right. And then we're in like a motel. We get some awkward family moments. Little girl's going to brush her teeth. Mark / Damian is obviously a little disconnected because he's like, this isn't my family, but to them he is, right?
It's Olive Garden, right? Like Anna doesn't know the difference. She's just like, Daddy. Like, I knew you'd come back.
She's a kid. She's an idiot. Yeah. So whatever. That's fine.
Mom cried every night, but I told her you'd come back.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, like there's so many really sad lines in this movie.
Yeah, there's a ton. I also think that as the kid, I mean, I joke about the kid being an idiot, but I feel like the kid would know something was off.
Yeah, you're not my real dad. Yeah, kids are stupid, but not that stupid. We draw a line somewhere.
Yeah, right?
They're our future. Don't you forget.
So then Mark's like, hey, man, I need some fresh air. I'm going to go out and Google search some shit on my MacBook by the Coca-Cola machine. Glad Wi-Fi
I like how
worked.
you're calling him Mark now, too.
Yeah. Oh, shit. Yeah. Yeah. Because, yes.
Damian Markeddie.
Damian Markeddie. It sounds like a fashion designer.
Briefly hands-on. Yeah. It's like GTA 5. It's like the story mode of GTA 5. Where you're three different characters, and they're all a little bit weird.
Just dropping this right now. 2023. Look out for it. Jared and Russ ITMT fashion line.
Giving us a year. I like it. Smart.
Led by Damian Markeddie, our fashion design guru.
Yep, that's right.
He couldn't be here today, but he may pop on at some point this year to let us know how things are going with our fashion line.
Because we recently hired Donna Mint on the team.
Yes.
In scheduling.
Yes.
So we're going to be having guests before you know it.
Every once in a while. But Damian Markeddie. Yeah. So Donna Mint, she might pop in. Damian Markeddie, he's busy doing fashion stuff. I think he's in Paris right now, but he's working on our hat. Yes.
I was just gonna say hats.
Fucking
we're both letting the hats out of the bag.
Yeah. T-shirts, maybe, who knows? But
be on the lookout. ITMT merch coming your way soon, and the board game
by Damian Markeddie.
Right. Not the board game.
No, the board game's
by us.
Yeah, it's by us specifically. Yeah, we didn't outsource this. This is our genius.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And maybe Thais helps at some point because she helped a little bit. But
so Damian, Mark, and or Eddie. He's out there doing some Google searches on his iPad there, MacBook.
Mm-hmm.
Google search of the professor there, Professor Jansen, whatever.
Yeah.
Who founded the whole shedding process, right? Like a snake. And then he watches a video again, and this is where we get a big twist spoiler moment. He spots a tick by the professor when he goes and
he does.
Touches his glasses in a weird way and flicks them.
Yep.
Guess who else did that? Early in the movie, which we didn't call out, but
Professor Jansen.
Nope, Albright.
Oh right. Well, sorry, I meant the same. They're the same person.
Well,
I was thinking of him. and said his actual name, but not right.
Yeah, you just got ahead of the whole spoiler.
My bad.
Yes,
my bad.
It's okay. Albright flicked his glasses earlier. YouTube pausing inspection. We see that the guy sitting next to Dr. Albright is the physical body of the current Albright that we know, young Matthew Goode, who's got a goofy face when he's frozen.
Yeah, he looks way less smart there.
Yeah, he's like, what are we talking about? So moments pass. Madeline comes out and finds him collapsed by his Google search machine / the Coca-Cola machine. And she's like, what's going on? And he's like, I don't know. I don't think he says anything important here. And he's just like, you got to trust me. Like, what? You're a collapsed mental patient who looks like my ex-husband, late dead husband. Why would I trust you? Because you know what? Easy. Because plot.
Yeah, because plot. And then apparently the dead scientist's wife, right? Jansen's wife is in New Orleans. And so that's where we're going to go. He's like, just trust me, babe. We're going to New Orleans.
Yes, we're heading back to New Orleans. But first, because we're going to head for some pills. We need some pills because, guys got to get his fix, right?
Yeah.
But then first stop is Albright's currently living ex, not late wife.
Exactly.
We are halfway through this movie at this point. And here we pull up to the old Penhurst house, which is where old people go to die. Old people go to... what? I don't know what.
Excuse me?
I don't know. Once you get applesauce fed, that's it. You're on your way out.
That's what they say. Yeah, as soon as you start eating applesauce, it's all over.
So we go to the Penhurst house. Well, because we get a shot of Ryan Reynolds sitting in a bench holding flowers. He meets Mrs. Jansen,
and takes advantage of her.
Yes, she has.
It's like, oh, I'm a student of your husband's. I have always wanted to follow up on his research, and she's like, follow up?
Yeah,
I always told him to follow up.
Everyone should research, follow it up. He's definitely taking advantage of her old lady syndrome. It's kind of
It's sad.
I mean, hey. when you need information about your own life, when it's, when you're rich and you need to solve your own problems, taking advantage of others is what you do.
Yeah, war is hell when you're a billionaire.
That's right. When you spend $250 million in a body that is confusing you, taking advantage of a little old lady, come on.
Jesus
Jared,
Christ.
Come on, Jared. Just fucking get your head in the fucking game right now, dude.
It's all part of the job. It's about family.
Always about family. Family. He's taking adventure. He's like, hey, lady, do you know where I can find?
Hey, listen, lady.
Listen, lady, do you know where I can find your mom? And you get a hint that she kind of spoils a little bit of the beans, being like, they should follow up his research, being like, okay, it's a little sketchy, I guess. Whose research isn't? Is
he a Nazi? I don't know. Like,
yikes. And then Damian is pressing her, being like, hey, where can I find him? Blah, blah, blah. And she's like, well, I don't know. But his number is by the phone.
Right on. Thanks.
And then the not seen version, the Nazi version? Oh my God. The not seen version.
Now you're saying it. Yeah.
Whoa, I meant not seen version.
Yeah, you're Mel Gibson.
Oh shit, Nazi version. I said not seen version. Nazi version.
I hate you.
All of a sudden, we cut to Albright, and he's taking a phone call from his soon to be late dead ex-wife.
Yeah, Phyllis. She has a name. Say her name, Russ. Phyllis.
Which is when I was like, oh, maybe he's trying to find a way to save her. Like that would be. Right?
No, he's a bad man. Yeah, he's a bad man. Apparently, he comes every Wednesday though.
Yeah. He's definitely he's a recurring visitor to the Penhurst house. So
brings her favorite butterscotch candy, and this is when that's
drugs.
This is how they start planning the trap, right?
Yes.
So
he shows up because basically Damian here convinced senile old woman to like, hey, call your husband, Philip.
Yeah.
Okay. Phyllis, call your husband. He shows up. She's passed out because, it's a tiring phone call.
Yeah, like you do.
And Albright pops in. He's like, hello, darling. And in the corner is Ryan Reynolds just being like, hello, darling.
Yep.
With a gun.
Right.
It's a very
Kingsley.
Yeah, it's a very it's kind of like a old timey James Bond movement, right? Like,
yeah.
Hello, I've been sitting in this corner the entire time.
Yeah.
Got you, fucker. Checkmate.
Yeah, shaken and stirred.
Checkmate, Albright. I've got you right where I want you.
Yeah. I win. So you traditionally say in chess.
Yes. I think as I like to say, I've won. And Albright is, of course, like, oh, have you? We get a good old-fashioned, witty banter-ish between antagonists and protagonists here. Albright going on with again with the what great minds could have accomplished, and he says like great minds could have accomplished more, like Edison, Einstein, Steve Jobs.
Rest in peace, Steve Jobs. I guess.
Yes. Let's couple the guy who invented the iPhone with the guy who invented the theory of everything.
I hate this. I hate our reality.
It's so stupid.
I mean, Steve Jobs isn't not like an Edison.
He's not an Einstein.
No, that's different. Obviously, that's different. Yeah, it's not good. Edison, Henry Ford,
Steve Jobs.
Yeah, all right.
Sure.
Steve Jobs.
Okay. Cool.
Sure, yeah.
Right.
A bunch of pieces of shit from history. Great. Einstein, decidedly not a piece of shit.
No.
Like Steve Jobs and Edison.
Right.
That's what I was getting at. I agree with you.
Fucking Christ. All right. So
we're like halfway through the movie still.
No, we got this. Don't worry about it. Shh. All right. So then we get classic.
Go to sleep.
Don't worry about it. We got this. So we get the classic antagonist motivation moment. It's the classic live forever, right? That's all he wants. I was hoping that he was like trying to save his wife as well, to like kind of throw in a little extra spice in the pie here.
He's like, she has Alzheimer's, so she's unsavable.
Even if I saved her and put her in a younger body, she wouldn't remember me.
He's like, so not worth it. Don't care.
And then we get the choice. This is the classic midpoint
Sophie.
choice for the protagonist here. Yeah, Sophie's choice. Red pill, blue pill moment here. You either continue to take the red pills.
Yep.
Keep taking the red pills, and Mark, this other character, or the body he's in, taken over will fade away. Or he can stop taking them, and Mark will take over, and Damian as a consciousness will die.
Yeah.
So, man, I wonder what he's going to do. And then action.
And then he says, let's go to the lab.
Yeah, Doctor, we're going to the lab.
Oi, let's go to the lab, mate.
I don't think he's... Anyway, so all of a sudden, we're walking out, gunpoint, and then there's some guy who comes up and is like, hey, Bob, I know you. And then
Blah, blah, blah.
we get a big kind of quick fight scene in like the carport area.
And we get a little hallucination happening at the same time.
So henchman number 3 is carrying Damian down the stairs, right? Boom, boom, boom. Pulling off the jacket, knocking one guy out, knocking another guy off the corner. Madeline shows up. One dude turns to go grab her. He comes over, chokes him out with his jacket, and breaks his neck. And then we find out that one of these 3 attackers is Anton. New body, new self, and just generic white guy body with his necklace still.
Yep.
Damian / Mark season is like, oh shit. And then we get a little explanation of...
This is after Maddie shoots him, right? Maddie shoots him.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. Yeah. I'm sorry. Yes. Maddie pulls a gun because Anton is actually choking Damian out. I apologize. Right. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
And then Maddie shows up. She pulls the gun and just takes a pot shot, pulls it off, scars him off the side. Then
we get the explanation of like the first one's the hardest, gets easier every time.
Anton's been doing this for a long time, or 3 times.
Yeah.
Not a long time, but 3 times.
Maddie's like, what's he talking about?
Honey.
Oh boy. Oh.
And then Anton's like,
to the moon, Alice.
To the moon, Madeline. And Anton's like, explain that one. And he just sneaks out the back, like, hee, and just runs away. And then we are in a car, Madeline, Mark, and child, right?
Daddy and mommy need a minute because they're having a little fight about what just happened. They're like, wait, you didn't explain any of that to me.
Classic parents arguing, right? Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Classic parents arguing about, you're not my husband.
And then they pull over, and this whole sequence is really weird to me. I don't know how you felt, but so the 2 of them were like way out in front of the SUV, and then they're chatting, going back and forth, and the kid pops out, and the kid is just standing there, and I was like, this is really weird. And the mom is yelling to the kid, like they're like 30, 40 feet away. And she's yelling at the kid, like, get back in the car, honey, or go ride the horse over there. I was like, and the way they shot it was like, this feels like a moment where the kid's going to get nabbed. Like,
yes, definitely. Yes.
But that doesn't happen. And I was like, what?
Yeah. No payoff. They were like, ooh, remember, they're like, guys, we were going for suspension at some point here.
Suspension, and, yep.
I've had neither suspense nor tension in minutes. How do we make this feel like suspension again? And
I need suspension.
Wait. Let's put the kid on the horsey. It won't work, and we'll make them think they're going to kidnap her. Yeah. Hey, this guy, he gets it. This guy gets it.
It worked. I got it. I got hooked. I was like, I'm ready for this kid to get.
Take an early lunch, pal.
I'm gonna. Damn it! I fell for it. And then we get back and forth between Damian and wife. He's like, "Hey, you know what? You're not going to survive without me."
Right, which is fucked up and abusive.
Classic rich guy thing to say. And she's like, "You're a manipulative asshole." Oh, we heard that earlier from Claire.
Classic Ben and Kingsley. Maybe they did write the characters right after all. Am I right?
Yeah. And he says, "I know." Heard that before. And then they make a plan. Planning time. So we're going to plan to get you some money, get you out of here, start over. They start driving. There's a little montage a bit here.
Yep.
Right?
They drive to plan. Yep. He's explaining the plan while they're on their way to Martin's house.
Yes. And then this
is when he explains finally that he's Damian. After he explains the plan, this is when they arrive at Martin's house, right? And he's like, I've got news. I've got news from Damian Hale. You let me in the door right now. And he's like, he's my dead best friend. Okay, sure. Because all rich people have a slight British accent. Even Victor Garber.
He doesn't have a British accent at all.
Well, maybe some say.
We're in Martine's home here.
Yeah. And
his buddy.
He's like, I'm Damian. And Martin's like, no, that's impossible. That guy was old.
Yes, he's like, by the way, like while he's drinking his scotch or whiskey, whatever his fancy, he's like, nah, fuck you. No, you're not.
Yeah.
Midday.
I don't think so.
His old midday scotch. I mean, we can't say him. We started drinking at 1, but yeah.
It's a holiday. As we record this, it's a holiday.
Right. This is the classic body switch moment. Convince your old friend it's me, but in a different body moment, right? Which is in every movie, body switch movie.
And he's like, remember that time?
What would be the thing? Like, man, what if I was in a different body? Like, let's just say, what if I just showed up and I was like, I was banging on your door and I was like, and I looked like Ryan Reynolds, and you're like, what the fuck? You'd still let me in because I would be Ryan.
Like, first of all, welcome Ryan Reynolds to my house. And then I'd be like, oh, remember that time that we met John Mayer in person? What was he wearing on his head?
And I'd be like, probably a stupid sombrero. I've met him before because I'm Ryan Reynolds. And he'd be like, fuck.
Damn it. That's a bad question. So yeah, I could tell that you're you, I think.
So the whole gang is here in the living room here. We got Martin drinking his scotch in the midday because this is heavy stuff. We got Judy, who is Martin's wife. We know her for 2 seconds. We got Madeline bouncing between this room and then the kid eating ice cream in the other room. Because you know what kid doesn't love ice cream when they're 8? And then, obviously Damian explained this whole thing. And then Judy's like, that's it. I'm going to call the cops. And then we get the Damian line being like, put down the phone. Now I know why all your maids keep quitting.
Yeah, ruthless. This is the Ben Kingsley coming out.
Yeah, and I love how like she's just like, what? How would he possibly know that?
How does he know we have shitty maids?
All right, so then we're going back and forth, and Martin's still like, how do I know? Blah, blah. And Damian's trickling out these stupid things like, dude, just hand him the fucking thing and be done with this, right? Yep. So he hands him the envelope. He opens it up, and it's the deed to the first place that they bought together.
That's right.
And then Damian goes into this whole spiel about, remember, we bought this place, and then we went to, randomly, Charlie's Kitchen. Mm-hmm. Not in Cambridge. Haven't been there in a long time, but...
It was Charlie's Kitchen.
And then he gives a quick story about some waitress and blah, 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 nodding, and, some girl. A story that only Martin would know.
Yeah.
And Martin's like,
it is you.
God damn it, good man. It is you.
Because all rich people are slightly British. You're coming around.
I am coming around. Oh, I'm been so on the other side now. It's like,
yeah, you've seen it now. Now that you're retired,
it's true.
You've been hanging around the Frasers of the world, the Nileses of the world,
and they're hanging out. So they're kind of like in a safe haven here.
Yeah, they're just like chilling at Martin's mansion. They're like, well, it's going to take some time to gas up the plane and get a flight plan together, practical considerations for you escaping the country.
Yes.
And Damian's like, okay.
Yeah. I'm going to chill and let my kid that's not my kid hang out in your pool. How's that feel?
Yeah. He's like, felt cute. My teacher to swim. Maybe I'll delete that later.
So then we get a father-daughter moment where like Damian just walks out and hangs out with the little girl. She's, Anna. She's by the pool and
she's like, by the way, Mom's birthday is a date. And he's like,
March something.
Sick. Thanks.
March 22nd. Yeah. And then there's a bunch of sweet moments, blah, blah, blah. Ryan Reynolds hanging out with a little, kid. It's very sweet. Mm-hmm. But then she's like, they're having like a swim. I thought there was like flashbacks. I thought he was having flashbacks. Well, no, because I thought he was, but it's not. It's like all of a sudden they're just swimming and he's like teaching her how to swim basically, or like kick, whatever. Yeah. They're having pool moments. That's
right.
Great.
Because he's like, well, it'll all be over soon. Like you'll have new clothes and a new school and new friends.
Yeah.
Like, does that sound good? And she's like, yeah, I guess so. He's like, I guess I never got around to teaching you how to swim, huh? And she's like, no, you left before I got better, which is another one of like the saddest lines of all time.
It is pretty, yeah. It's like,
oh, no, you left before I got better.
Oh, you're fine, whatever.
He's like, well, you're feeling better now, aren't you? And then that's like a montage of them all day teaching her how to swim. And we're like, wait, where's the mom? Like, this is all day long, seemingly, the montage.
She took an 8-hour-long shower, or 5-hour-long shower.
Right, exactly. She took an 8-hour-long shower because then she's like, finally, she's, minutes of this montage later, she's like, like drying her hair, and you're like looking out the window, overlooking the pool. And she's like, oh, like Ryan Reynolds.
This is Damian. This is one of two cheesy look in the window moments. Yeah, so she looks out the window and happens to see them hanging on the pool and has a moment of like, oh, it's nice to see. Oh, okay.
And then you get a nice, I love you, Daddy, which could have been the quote for the episode.
We got to amp up the suspension here. So Madeline comes in and Damian, he's putting his clothes back on after the pool time.
Yeah.
And then they kiss. And I was like,
come on. I was like, he's not your husband. You know that.
Like you know.
Is this cheating? Yes. Right?
Yeah. Yes, because there's plenty of doppelgangers out there. There's a lot of people who, you know what I mean? Like, just because someone looks like someone.
Totally.
Like,
yeah. Right.
Not the same. It's not the same person.
It's not the same person.
Right.
Even though he's inside you.
That's a weird phrasing right now, but
I don't think so. I think it's apropos.
Let me get some kind of background of Damian and his relationship with his daughter yet again, but basically explain it to another character in the movie to make them, more connected, but also reinforcing that we know that he's a shitty dad.
I know, right.
Meanwhile, we get like a weird, like kind of almost horror movie thing where the little girl's like tracking some weird mechanical sound through the house.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and she's like falling through the hallways, and we're cutting yet again another cut back and forth between these things like happening. Like, so she's tracking this creepy sound, and then Damien goes in the bathroom. He's sitting there, he's washing his hands, going to take his pill, and he looks at the mirror, and the mirror is covered up. He's like, "What?"
Yeah.
And he pulls it back, and he's like, "The mirror's behind it." And then he looks at the other mirror, and
all mirrors are covered up. Yeah.
And then he walks and he's like, looks at the hallway, and there's like a missing painting or like whatever.
Yeah.
It was like an outline of like something that was
something
on the wall.
Yeah.
But I didn't quite get why, like, what's that? Why is this a trigger for?
Oh yeah. I didn't either. It was stupid.
I didn't quite get it. Like something was off. Maybe it wasn't his home. Like maybe it was like a fake home or something like that, like a setup home or something. But that doesn't make any sense. He's got the car.
Yeah. That seems kind of unlikely.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no real way to know.
Instead, it's an alarm for something's wrong. Let's go find Anna. So him and Madeline go traipsing through the house, gun in hand, and we get another big little twist. Anna,
a big little twist, you say?
I would say big twist. Anna's
Then say it.
Anna's in this room. She's doing a little race car thing, right? With kind of a pretty creepy little boy, right?
Yep. And
they get in the room, and Anna's like, "Oh, I'm just playing race cars with Tony.
He lives here."
And the little creepy kid looks up and he's like, "Yeah, I live here."
Hello.
Damian's like, picks up Anna, is like, "We gotta get out of here right now." Because Tony is Martin and Judy's dead kid who's been dead for 2 years, which now I'm thinking about it. Undead, right. Which was a thing they said earlier in the movie. We should have called that out.
It doesn't matter.
It was at the line. Well, it does.
I mean, it does, but like, would it have changed things?
All right, so we've learned that the truth is out. Martin's got a little fake kid.
He's got a little fake kid. Who knew?
And Damian and Madeline and Anna, they're freaking out, kind of trying to escape. And we get a little moment here.
Like, don't undersell the moment when Damian explains to Martin.
Oh no! I was just getting,
okay. You're just getting to that. Okay, good.
Yeah, it's absolutely terrifying because I think Martin's not a bad person. Like he's just caught up in this. He's caught up like most people would be to like wanting to save someone they love, right?
Yeah, he seems like a cool guy.
So he has been involved with the Phoenix Landing group here in Albright, and for a long time, he's got his kid back, who's not really his kid. But then this is where he learns from Damian. Damian's just like, "Yeah, dude. What do you think? How do you think it works?" Martin's like, "Well, they grow all the fucking kids in labs, right?
They test you boys.
That's someone else's dead kid up there. You got, yikes.
Yeah, wasn't dead kid until you killed him.
You have zombie kid upstairs." Basically,
it's pretty fucked up. And Martin's like,
"Fuck,
obviously broken."
Yeah, I mean,
like,
yeah,
it's not good for you.
No, and he doesn't, and it's good. He's like, okay. So then instant planning mode, what do we do? And Martin's like, well, if they called an hour before you got here. As soon as you come off, the land here, they're going to be all of you.
They're there waiting for you, right? Yep.
But Martin's still a true friend, which I'm happy he was. So he stuck with it, and he's like, I'll help you. And he's
buy
like,
some time to escape.
I'll take Anna and Madeline. We'll go running through the woods. We'll meet you at a truck stop, blah, 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 on Route 80, whatever. And he's like, take the SUV in the carport, it's tinted windows, they can't see.
And they say like, the truck stops off 180. If you make it, we'll be there till midnight, because the plan is if somehow Damian cannot die, he's going to go with them. They're all getting a freedom, ideally, right?
Yeah, because Martin has prepped a plane to go down to the Caribbean, right? Because on Damian's, that was his request. Hey, get the plane. We already know this before. Martin's like, hey, plane, everything is all set, ready to go.
So then we go outside.
Car chase time?
Yeah. So basically, Damian makes a big show in front of a bad guy with a seatbelt situation, unclear. Then the guy radios another guy. They're like, this is leading up to the car chase scene, right?
He spots Anton's car because it stands out. And then we get a car chase. Car chase.
Excuse me?
Yeah. What? Is that a... Oh, wow.
I don't know. Do I call an ambulance?
And then we get ourselves a good old fashioned
car cheese.
It's
a John Cleese.
Vroom vroom. Yeah. Pew pew. So we get ourselves a Chevy chase scene.
Finally, after what seems like forever, the bad guys realize that there's no one else in the car. And so they send a couple cars back to the house. While they're continuing to still chase Damian.
Yeah.
And then they all kind of stop and flip over and get out of the car. It's unclear what's happening.
So
I guess they get out of the car first, and then
Damian's in an SUV. We got another car behind him, right? Chasing him, shooting at him. He pins the brakes, slams into the front of the car because obviously, physics, right?
That's
and then
right.
somehow he hitches underneath that car and then starts pulling that car.
Mm-hmm.
SUV is pulling now this other car behind him that's stuck on his hitch or something, pulling.
Right.
Then we get Anton, who's like at the other end of this road, which no other cars happen to be on. And he's like, you know what, dude, I'm in the Challenger. It's time to play some chicken. Right? And then they're going, get to the last minute. And then Damian's like, I got you, fucker. And he just turns the wheel, spins the thing, and then spins the car that he's dragging into the Challenger / Anton.
Right.
And Anton's like, oh man, I didn't see that coming.
Right.
Boom.
Bob's your uncle.
Damian's flipping over a couple times, and then Anton crashes in a tree and blows up into a flame.
If I had a nickel.
Or so we think.
Always bet on Anton surviving.
Right?
Right.
Meanwhile, in the woods, Anna and Madeline are snagged by the bad guys, I think.
Yes. The bad guys drive up, and Maddie's like, oh, look, a car. I bet they're here to help us. And poor Martin's like,
no,
I don't know. Probably not. But he really doesn't try that hard because he's kind of a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And so they run and they get kidnapped, obviously, and drive away. And he's like, oh, man.
Shit. And then we're at the truck stop. Which they were supposed to meet at. Damian's there. He's waiting for the family that's not his.
Right. And they don't show up.
This was kind of irritating. The booth he sat in, it was...
You couldn't see the door? Yeah, you couldn't see anything. Yeah,
I was
too tall, way too tall.
I was infuriated. I was like, this is infuriating.
I hate booths like that. I like to see stuff.
So every time the door opens, it's like ding, ding, and he stands up and looks over the fucking little thing to see who it is, and it's like, oh, not his fake family. I was so angry with this. And then Martin shows up. Fake family not in tow. And he's like, they were snagged. They got him.
My bad, guy. Sorry. He's like, well, they're probably going to kill him, but like you could still go to anywhere. That would be cool, right? Wouldn't that be cool if you went a place without them? And he's like, well, yes. And I still feel kind of bad though. Is that distilling the conversation down?
And then we get a bunch more kind of, friendship exposition here and kind of Martin's motivations for, but he pops out Tony's pills, his kids, not plural. Take these, and guess what? By the way, BT Dub
Tell me.
had them reverse engineered.
Oh!
Motherfucker, you sly dog, Martin, you sly motherfucker.
Oi, 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 oi,
oi, oi, because we're British. Oi, 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 you fucking
Right.
go.
Yeah, you know that's right.
Fucking Martin coming through.
Martin, best friend after all, even though he sold us out earlier.
Martin, guess what? That's awesome. Got the pills. I don't have to worry about that fake family I don't have anymore. They're going to end up dead. Cool. I can live my sweet Ryan Reynolds life now.
That's all I've ever wanted.
He doesn't choose that.
No, he does not.
No, he chooses the worst option, obviously.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Martin's got he reverse engineered it, gives him a little recipe. He's like,
bro, go to Mexico. He's like, go to a pharma plant.
I got a factory set up. It'll make it.
Give him a few grand. He literally says, go to a pharma plant, give him a few grand. They'll make you enough pills for 6 months. And he's like, wait. I was like, what? What do you mean go to a pharma plant? What does that mean?
Big pharma wins, my friend.
I know. Yeah.
He's like, dude, check out this recipe.
Works like a dream,
Works like a dream. He's like, Martin, are you sure about this?
You say baby too?
But we were facing another choice time for Damian here. He's like, you know what? Yeah, I could take this. I could live and I could just be me now. Or you know what? That little girl.
Like Kevin Spacey in 9 Lives.
That little girl is the same age as Claire when he moved out.
And so sacrifice is more important than anything else.
We get the same age thing. This is a moment where Damian's like, oh man, I guess I got to do this thing and save them because movie. Right. So then the whole plan is that Damian's like, you know what?
I'm going to discover the facility
by not taking the pills for 12 hours and hoping I see a hallucination of because Mark, was dragged there.
That's right.
So it's basically a detox. It's a hardcore detox.
Makes perfect sense.
He goes through some major withdrawals. Martin's sitting there by his side, which is good to see.
Right.
And we get some bunch of glitches.
True friends. Yeah. Real Samwise.
Yeah. Right. And he wakes up at the right time and is like, hey, guess what we're looking for? A warehouse. Martin's like, oh, cool. Can you narrow it down? There's a lot of warehouses around here. And Damian's like, how about Mardi Gras warehouses? He's like, oh, shit.
Oh,
what? There's only one in town in fucking New Orleans. Thankfully labeled Mardi Gras World.
And then there's a bunch more, like it's a big montage of memories, right? And there's like the family in Iraq and this clown place. And
yeah,
that's like, it's not exciting, right?
Yeah.
And then he wakes up after all this and he's like, Martin, wait, do you still have that boat? We got to go where they have the Mardi Gras floats. We got to go to that place, the docks.
Mardi Gras World.
Mardi Gras World. This is from the trailer, right? I thought it was a carnival. It basically is, right?
I mean, you weren't wrong. So bingo bango. Nailed it. We're at Mardi Gras World, giant warehouse with the front being Mardi Gras floats.
That's right.
I guess if you're going to hide anything, that's a good spot to hide them.
Oh, yeah, for sure. They're giant and scary.
All right. So here we are, and Damian's he's sneaking in. He takes out one dude. We see the ambulance.
He's like pistol whips the guy, which is ruthless.
Well, that's the second guy. But the first guy, he just grabbed like outside. He's like grabs him from behind. He's like, wow, gotcha, motherfucker.
Right.
And then he sneaks inside the warehouse and we get like this kind of like sci-fi plastic tubey areas, right? But he's on the outside of it and like apparently it's plastic, but you can't see through it or in. And he's following this this other security guy who's just like doing his trip here. We see the ambulance that he got pulled in with. Okay, it's all connecting. And then he does like a hardcore pistol whip of this guy who just, you know what? He's just trying to earn a living to pay for his kid's fucking college education. And what does he get?
Aren't we all?
But hey, you know what? You sign up for the job.
That's true.
And then here we are. We're in the Phoenix lab. And he spots Anton, right?
Yeah, who looks mangled. He's in terrible shape.
No, he's torched after crashing his sweet-ass car. He's on the science machine.
That's right.
And then we kind of get like I think the final showdown of wits between Damian and Albright, right? Here, right?
Yeah, I think we're basically at that point.
We're getting there.
Yeah, I say we should skip over some of this stuff. So
Yeah.
the important parts are like Albright's doing a little bit of a speech talking about murder in this family. Damian's like,
he spills the beans.
That's not
basically.
cool, bro.
Yeah.
Exactly. Then they subdue him because they're like, oh wait, actually, Anton should be you. And then Ryan Reynolds sneaky swallows something like a bullet.
It's a bullet.
Right, yeah.
For some odd reason, a bullet pops out of someone's pocket and just like right there. I was like, oh, cool.
And he's like,
because as we all know, as you remember from the beginning of the movie,
metal.
Yeah.
He fucks with the machine.
It's fucking magnets and metal.
Exactly.
He swallows a bullet or doesn't swallow, but puts it in his mouth.
Yep.
Gets his ass knocked out, thrown on a table, and here we go.
Yep.
We're doing a transposition of Anton to Mark's body here, and they want to keep Mark because Mark is a killing machine. Let's put Anton in that body where he can actually kick some ass and do something and not die in a shitty car accident.
Yeah, they come out of the machine, and Albright asks him, "What's your name?" And he's like, "Anton." How many kids do you have? None. Just the pictures I downloaded. What?
All right, so Damian, aka Mark, aka Eddie, who everyone thinks now is Anton.
Yep.
He suits up, puts on his, his chain, whatever. He's in his room there. He's got two guards with him. And he goes up.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. Give me a fucking gun. I gotta go get the woman.
He's like, "Where's the woman?" And they're like, "Well, that's not important." He goes up to the guy and he's like, "Hey, give me your gun."
Yeah. How much for the women?
You didn't have your legs torn off and fucking reborn, blah, blah, blah. The guy's like, whoa.
Vietnam. Yeah.
It's like, whoa, dude. All right, man. Fucking.
Bro, relax. Yeah.
Pump the brakes there.
We've all got baggage, buddy. It's okay.
So they march down to go find the woman, aka Madeline and Anna. And meanwhile, we cut back to Albright, who's suspicious. He's checking some brainwave things, which we saw earlier in the movie when they did the brainwave thing of Ben Kingsley there. And he was like, I don't see any British accent in here at all. So then here...
Right. Flashback to Ben Kingsley going, oh, oi.
No. It's just Albright looking and being like... He's like... It's just Albright being like, yep, still doesn't have an Irish or an English accent.
Well, no one's arguing with you there.
But Albright's like, nope, still no English accent.
Arr.
So he's like, ooh, let me check the science machine here. And he checks the science machine. Guess what?
Boom.
Bullet. We cut back to Damian.
Wild. Yeah.
So we cut back. Then we cut back to the first moment of this little girl's poor life, where she's traumatized for the rest of her life. Where Damian literally just murders 3 people in front of her.
Oh, you love to see it. What if we're shadowed?
So he kills all the bad guys right there. And then convinces Madeline and Anna, like, it's okay, it's me, it's definitely me, it's okay.
Yep.
Although he literally just shot 3 people in front of them, so that little girl is definitely scarred, and she's gonna be even more scarred at the end of this movie. Which is
yes, we're almost there, because this is when they like get held up in this room, and it's the room where the deeds happen. Looking into the behind the glass, right?
Yeah, super quick. So between that moment, there's a quick little gunfire moment, right? We have a little firefight, which is pretty lame, and we get the classic, like, the main character is just like, I'm gonna walk from one spot to another spot, standing and just shooting because it's badass looking. It's like, that's the worst thing to ever do, and Ryan Reynolds does it.
Right?
You're gonna get what? That's stupid. Why are you shooting like this? They do run across a technician who's like, I'm just a technician. Don't kill me.
Yep.
But anyways, yes. So they work themselves into the office, which is the two-way mirror side of the science room, right?
Right.
And they kind of lock themselves in there. So we got Damian, Madeline, and Anna kind of tucked in here. And on the other side, because he went in there to find the bullet, is Albright.
Yeah. They basically just have a bunch of explanation about how you can't survive without me. You need me. And then things
without me, you're oblivion.
Yeah. Then it is kind of cool the way they do it, because it looks like his face starts getting kind of warped in your vision.
Well,
and
so yes, but so there's a quick glance back to like something in the corner, which I actually couldn't tell what I was like. Is that like a fucking rocket launcher? And then
Oh,
they cut back to Albright and like, yeah, it starts getting wavy. And I was like, oh, this is
Right.
kind of interesting.
You're like, oh, maybe Albright's having some kind of flashback or something, or like.
My first thought actually was that I thought because those machines give off a bunch of radiation.
That's what I was thinking too. Yeah.
Right. Like I thought maybe because I don't think you ever saw anyone inside that room. He turned on the machines and was just giving him radiation to like fucking kill him. I was like, oh, that's a good dose of the old, your own poison you've created.
Yep. That's what I was thinking too.
Nope.
Nope.
No, it's more ridiculous.
Yeah. He all of a sudden the flames burst through the window and he flamethrowers him to death. Right? It's awesome. It's pretty cool.
So this is definitely the best part of this movie, but the stupidest part of this movie.
Yes. I couldn't stop laughing. It was great.
I was, as soon as I started like the mirror meltdown and like on the other side was
I was like, wait a second.
What? And he's just like, yeah, blast of flame through it. I was like,
yeah, it was awesome.
It was the worst.
Because it's like, and while he's doing the flame throwing, he's reciting the recipe for the medicine.
Yes.
Just to rub it in his face. And Albright's like, no. And that's then the fire department shows up again. Our heroes, fire department.
FD
anywhere,
FD anywhere.
Couldn't agree more.
And then we're just by some random area, not close
outside, yeah.
Kind of wrapping shit up. So Damian's like, hey, family, that's not mine.
Mm-hmm.
I got some shit set up for you. Hop on a boat. It's right down the way.
Yep.
Get there and go away.
And Anna's like, why can't Daddy come with us? And they're like, well, kiddo, these things happen, and such. And then we cut back to New York, basically, right? There's a little bit like he pulls off a necklace and he walks with them for a little bit. It's stupid and doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Then they cut back to New York and Damian walks into his daughter's nonprofit as Ed Kidner, friend of her father. And he's like, yo, mind if I have a seat? I'd love to. I was really close to your father, especially at the end of his life.
Yeah.
And he had a lot of regrets about the things he didn't say to you when he was alive. He's very proud of you.
Why would she be like, who are you?
Yeah, she's like, what? Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah. Who the fuck are you?
Who are you? Like, what?
Yeah, she's just like, yep. Okay. Yep. No, that makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
I can imagine him having a lot of regrets. He really did a bad job of being a dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
And he's like, yeah, I think Damian really regretted not being there for you. And, I always thought that a checkbook could solve problems when we all know that that's not the case. And then he like starts to like whip out his checkbook kind of thing. And she's, quick to dismiss him, but it's not a checkbook.
It's an envelope.
It's a letter. Just a letter of all the things that he wished he would have said to you when he was alive. And she's like, thanks. And then he goes, you've got important work to do.
Mysterious person.
Right. Yeah. Thanks, weirdo that just showed up and gave me this envelope.
Yeah. And then he leaves, and we get the classic second moment in this movie where the old look up into the window to see people's reaction moment, which that doesn't happen in real life. No one's ever standing that close to a window.
No.
And he sees her
like giggling.
Well, she's like crying and then like it's like okay. So whatever he wrote in that letter it worked.
Right. So then we cut to a bed. It's like a shitty bed, and Damian's in it.
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds. It's raining outside. There's some music playing. He wakes up abruptly, right?
In the middle of the night. Yeah.
Feel his face, and he's confused.
Yeah.
And like heads over to the computer that's over on his desk.
Yeah.
And it turns out
trusty MacBook.
Yeah, trusty MacBook always works in crazy tropical private islands. And it's a video from Damian to Mark. So
same face, different brain.
Same face, different guy. Right. Great point. And so apparently he stopped taking the pills and let his brain dissolve inside of Mark. And because this is when he knew it was the right thing to do, sacrifice. Right?
Well, because he is
a good dad, after all.
It's in the title.
Kevin Spacey.
He is self /
He is 9 lives.
Now it's all been brought back together. So
when you're right, you're right.
And then so we get the short video thing, and then at the same time, again, this is like his director loves doing this, where we have one scene, and then he's talking. We got a little voiceover, and the future scenes are happening all at the same time.
Yep.
Ryan Reynolds, Mark. Now we can call him Mark because now he's Mark. He's in a boat heading out to an island. Gets the island. And this is pretty funny. So he shows up. Madeline's there, and she's runs up.
Damian. Hooray, a friendly face.
He's like, what? No, baby, it's me. Oh, Mark? Oh, better. Oh,
Mark.
Shit.
Oh, yeah.
No, shit, sorry.
This is just as good. Yeah, we like Mark
awkward.
too.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Thank God you're back.
Oh, so happy you're... Oh, Anna, look, sweetie, it's Daddy.
Yeah. Remember? He's kind of an asshole.
He's back.
Yeah. Whoops.
Yeah, and then it's like pan over the ocean, the end.
Yeah, pan over this dope ass island out in the middle of nowhere with this dope ass house, and like the end.
I hate this movie. So boring. So boring.
Fuck, man. And
so few things happened.
Yeah, I mean, but there's like could have been so much potential, but
yeah, I'm sure the novelization will be better.
Yeah,
I'll look out for that. I'll let you know.
All right, so yeah, that's it. That's the end. That's the end of self/less.
Yep, we did it.
We made it.
Great job, team. Wildly disappointing.
Yes.
I expected entertainment.
At 19%.
I don't think I asked for a lot. I just wanted to be entertained for 2 hours.
Bunch of cool concepts they could have played with, which yet again, obviously concepts we already know, but had a good premise, but
it'll be better in the book, probably.
So that's it. Yeah, I don't know. I can't suggest this movie. I mean, not that's what you're here for, because I mean, if you're here, you already know we can't suggest any of these movies, but
if you made it 4 hours into listening to us about this, then yeah, of course you're not going to go watch the movie then.
All right. Yeah, that was dumb. I'm sorry. That was dumb.
No. It's not your fault. It's just our premise.
Yeah. Sometimes I think, sometimes I think better, but
and therefore you are.
Anyways, well, thanks everyone for listening. We'll be back next week. New movie, right?
Yeah. Orb willing, we'll be back next week with a new one.
As long as the planet keeps spinning, we'll be back. So, but in the meantime, you can follow us on Instagram at It's This Meets That. We're ITMT Pod on Twitter.
Yeah. I like how you get sultry when you do that.
You like that? When I slow it down a bit?
Yep.
Okay. You can subscribe to us, though. You should.
And you can leave us a review too while you're there if you want, especially Spotify and Apple. That helps us a bunch and helps you too, because if it helps us, then think about it. It also helps you.
Yeah.
Right. And if you're feeling old fashioned, though, you can send us an email still. It's thismeetsthat@gmail.com. And you can find all of our old episodes.
All of them.
100 plus episodes at this point. So much content. Just think of if you're ever like really lonely and you just want to
have a friend,
spend a little time with us. Yeah, have a friend. Have a friend in your ears. More than 100 hours of content.
Yeah.
Lots of hours.
Oh, yeah. So many hours.
Just something to think about.
Yeah. Just invite us into your home.
At our website. It's thismeetsthat.com.